Thank you, India. Thank you, India, from the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of the hearts of all of the Australian fans here for producing a pitch like that. I've said many times in the past that Australia's best chance is on a pitch like this, where it makes our spinners look like prime Warney, etc., etc., etc. And
Even Prime Warney wasn't good in India.
but it would have been good on this. There's no doubt about that. I've said, and look, one thing I will say before I hand over to you, Nash, is the question I've got is why? Why have you produced a pitch that resembles a cake that has been left in the oven for 24 hours too long? We all know India's got the skill and the quality and the superiority over Australia in Indian conditions to win on traditional surfaces. And they can make a statement in that way and why they would have to produce a pitch like that to try and make a statement here. That's the question I'm asking you today. And I wonder if you've got any answers.
Well, I think the first thing I can think of is BCCI is trying to save their per day match fees that they they want to don't want to give to the players. Um, you know, uh, but on a serious note, I think ever since that first ball bowled by Mitchell Stark, I couldn't help but just keep laughing at the whole situation because we sat here before the series and discussed this exact thing where if it's a raging Turner, Australia are very much in the game, and we saw that today. Same thing happened in Pune 2017, where Steve O'Keefe ran through the Indian batting lineup in both innings.
Exactly.
Matthew Kuhneman this time, and yeah, I don't know, but having said that, I'll say this though: we as Indian fans, sensible Indian fans, would be the last ones to blame the pitch. We'll say it won't cross our mind first to say, oh, it was because of the pitch, because this pitch is so and so. We'll always blame the batters and always blame the players first because it's their lack of skill to play on this kind of a pitch. You will be served this kind of. It is a poor pitch. I'm saying that loud and straight away first. It is a poor pitch. There is a balance between um there is no I'll keep I'll again say this. I've said this a million times. There is no ideal pitch, but there is a pitch which is um good for batters. There's a pitch which we saw in Pakistan. There's a pitch which is good for fast bowlers. There's a pitch which is good for spinners, and
As
then
long as there's
there's
a battle, as long as there's a
exactly
battle between
exactly.
bat and ball, not deliveries grubbering through ankle height.
But the problem comes in when there's inconsistent bounce. There's sort of dust
So
just coming off in the first over itself.
correct.
The ball can spin. That's not a problem
Mm,
at all. The ball
spot on.
can spin absolutely however
Spot
much
on.
it wants. Um, and I've seen this arguments going around from Australian fans that um, Indians can't produce a pitch like this and then also say that it was because of the pitch. You can't have both ways. But we are not saying that. We are saying that this is a poor pitch, yes, but as sensible Indian fans, we still blame the batters because they haven't played well, which is the truth that Rohit
Interesting, but
Sharma played a horrific shot.
yeah, you
Shreyas
can you
Iyer
can
played a
blame
horrific shot.
you can blame the batters, but at the end of the day, I don't think Australia can genuinely compete with India on a typical subcontinent pitch. That's my
Yeah,
view.
yeah. And that's the thing. Like, so to Australian fans' argument, do you think Australia have batted well or has India bowled poorly? I have my thoughts on this, but I want to
Yeah.
get your thoughts first.
Yeah, before I go into that, I think I wanted to say that, we were discussing a few months ago the Gabba pitch for the South Africa test, and I was saying that that was a poor pitch too. And then I specifically said that I know India fans were criticizing the whole reaction out of that test match, saying, "Oh, the responses would have been louder had it been a subcontinent pitch." But I remember specifically saying, and to your point, there's nothing wrong with spin from the first session. I love to see it because it just makes it a little bit more interesting. There's a challenge for the batsmen and the bowlers are in the game. But when there's a puff of dust on the fifth ball of the day, there was the one that Rohit Sharma hit for four after he was out
Yep.
twice, by the
Yep.
way. Can't
Yep.
believe that still. But when he flicked it for four and it just exploded, and that was the alarm bells ringing. I think that's a bit that's an underprepared pitch.
Also, the fact that batters played poorly can't be
They did. There was
overlooked.
some poor
The
shots too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Rohit Sharma, I have no clue what he was doing in that over.
yeah.
He played, I think, one couple of sweep shots didn't come off, and just ran down the track, and got
Yeah,
stumped. And then
disappointing knock from Rohit because he's been
yeah,
excellent in defense in this series, hasn't he? His defense has been his
exactly,
strong point. Yeah,
exactly. And someone like Shreyas Iyer as well. That was a poor shot. Jadeja as well, and then that
yeah,
last run out was unnecessary as well. So
yeah.
even if he would have gotten like 135, 140, that's a big game as well.
Anything over 100 in the fourth innings is going to be very difficult. To your question around India's spinners, I felt they were inconsistent today. Maybe there was a lack of patience at times, just with that low score, trying to get as many wickets as they could. But when you hit that good length, it is so difficult to bat. You either get it that shoots through low to you or rips past your outside edge. And in Steve Smith's case, he just nicked it. What can you do?
And India just didn't bowl
No.
in those areas a lot. Like Akshar Patel literally bowled one halfway down the
I
track,
don't
and
think I've ever
and
seen that.
Jadeja Ashwin were really inconsistent, which you don't expect will happen a lot. But and
Yeah.
this is where my I made this argument a couple of weeks ago, or last month, I think.
Mm.
The batters can't always expect that the bowlers will bail you out. You have to put runs on the board, because even though as great as Ashwin, Jadeja, Akshar Patel are, there has to be somewhere there has to be an off day for all three of them. And as it happened today, it was all
Yeah.
that off day came together for all three of them.
Just not
Um,
enough from the top six. Agree with you.
exactly, exactly. And again, I can't say this enough. Virat Kohli, he pretty much gave a blueprint on how to bat on
He's
this
looking good.
pitch. He was looking brilliant, and again, good ball from Todd Murphy, and yeah, he got out. He should have played it through the sort of through the mid wicket area where he was sort of
Yeah.
trying to go a bit finer. But again, who am I
Yeah.
to tell Virat Kohli what to do? And um, I hope just second innings comes soon. Australia get bowled out, hopefully in the first
Hopefully
session itself,
not.
in the
Hopefully you're wrong.
first 60 to 75
Uh,
minutes itself, and
no,
then
no.
because look, I think honestly now what will happen is it's Cam Green, Alex Carey. They are inexperienced players, and India has to really bank on that. India has
Yes.
to be really consistent from the get-go, as
Agree.
they were in the last test match, and not give any room to the Australian batters.
100% agree. And I know we've spoken a lot here about India, their faults today and the pitch and all that, but I want to give big credit to my team, Australia. I thought very happy for the team today. Of course, there's a long way to go because we could lose 6 for 20 tomorrow. It's that kind of pitch and it's been that kind of series. So long way to go. But I thought the way the team played today, I've always said that if you get a pitch like this, there's an opportunity for you to make some inroads and be competitive because it becomes more of a shootout. And I thought the team was outstanding today. Kuhneman bowled outstanding. He was considered. It's the perfect pitch for Kuhneman.
Yep.
This is the kind of pitch that makes him look unbelievable. He's a very steady, accurate bowler. He came into this series with an average of 35 in first class cricket in 13 games. Good economy rate, consistent, lands it in the right spot. That's why they flew him over to India while Ashton Agar was still there. Ashton Agar couldn't land them consistently. Kuhneman can. This pitch is perfect for him, and he utilised it perfectly. Line was good. Murphy was good. Stark should have had Rohit in that first over. I thought when those two non-reviews, and he was out both times, I'm like, we're in for another bad day
That's
here.
it.
But if someone offered me at that point 109 to India, 4 for 150 odd from Australia, I would have ripped your arm off faster than the ball ripped off the surface. Absolutely
But
amazing.
before we finish, I think quick shout out to Alex Carey. I think he kept
Oh,
really superbly well
100%.
today.
100%.
It's really difficult to keep on these sort of pitches, and
Yep.
his counterpart KS Bharat had his moments, but I think he was not up to the mark. Really difficult to keep to someone like Ashwin, Jadeja, and Akshar Patel when they are consistent, but even more so because they were inconsistent today. The plans from India were bizarre for some reason. Jadeja did not even try to bowl, change sides to Khawaja as well.
He was absolutely brilliant, Kerry. That was so impressive. We've known that he's a good gloveman, but you don't really know how good you are until you keep on these sort of pitches. He was outstanding. And to your point about Jadeja switching to over the wicket, that's when Khawaja started to look in trouble and played
Exactly,
that sweep.
exactly. And that's when because
Mm,
I remember I was thinking, why isn't Jadeja bowling over the wicket? And
mm,
then Akshar Patel came and bowled over the wicket to Khawaja and bowled well. And that's when I think Jadeja's
yeah.
it struck Jadeja that, I should probably try this. But it you're playing at an international level, and you're one of the best bowlers currently. You shouldn't have to
Yeah.
wait that long. You should have your plans already chalked
Mm,
out.
mm, absolutely. So yeah, I think India will look to come out tomorrow and hit those lengths. They know that there's so much there in the pitch for them that if you land it in the right spot, it's very difficult to survive, let alone score. That's why I've got hope for Australia. Try get to a lead of 100. It's going to be difficult. There's a long way still to go. I know there can be a collapse around the corner. That's what I'm worried about. I know that today was a really good day for the team, but it counts for nothing if you have a day like Delhi tomorrow. So,
I'm hoping for that.
uh,
I'm betting on that.
like you haven't had enough success against us the last 10 years. You need more. It's going to be tough.
Anything over 120 for Australia, India are straight away out of the game, I
I
think.
don't think if India win from 120 behind on this, that would be one of their great wins.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that. You don't
I,
want to be
I
batting.
honestly thought India might bat today itself, but
Yeah.
not to be. Not
You
to
know what?
be.
And one thing I will touch on is Jadeja's no balls. India could have been batting
Oh,
again today
don't
had
go there.
Manas had
Don't go
Manas
there.
been out for a duck. It's just
Imagine
incredible.
Australia 15 for 2, and it's a different ball game
Of
altogether. It's
course,
it's absolutely a different
that
innings.
partnership was
The
huge.
test match looks different. Um, you suddenly have Steve Smith already in with the new ball, and you get Kawaja or Steve Smith here and there, and then that's it. That opens the floodgates like crazy, and
I
and
can't.
yeah, it
A
was
spinner, a spinner
absolutely.
should not be bowling a no ball, but this
Yeah.
guy Jadeja is a terrific cricketer. But the one thing in his game is those no balls, and it could cost India very dearly in the future. So that's our wrap of day one. A big thank you to the Indore groundsman for producing this pitch that makes our spinners look unplayable and world beating. And as good as our spinners are, I think they've got qualities, but they were definitely exaggerated by this surface. And hopefully Australia can get a good lead tomorrow. And wouldn't it be quite the embarrassment, Nash? I'm just going to put this if Australia win this by an innings. What do you reckon?
Oh,
I'm thinking way too far
that's
ahead. I'm getting carried away.
yeah. I
I'm only
think I think
kidding.
that's.
I'm only kidding.
We'll see what happens in 24 hours when we are doing this again. But I think that's a bit of a stretch at this stage.
They might come back to bite me, that comment, but I was only joking. So I look forward to it. Yep. See you tomorrow.